Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, greetings. I'm pleased to address you today to celebrate Urban October 2022 Sustainable Development Goal 11, quote, to make cities inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable, end of quote. Elevate sustainable urbanization as a key priority for global development. The United Nations is committed to engaging all stakeholders and cities to improve the lives of their inhabitants. The global need is even greater in these turbulent times when the international community is confronting interlinked challenges including COVID-19 pandemic, the climate emergency, geopolitical instabilities and regional development disparities. In the message of the United Nations, Secretary General Antonio Guterres for this year's World Cities Day, he said, and I quote, "Across a range of critical goals from poverty to hunger to gender equality and education, we are not seeing progress but backsliding. The consequences are dramatic, escalating climate chaos, growing poverty, rising inequalities and more. We must change course, and we can," end of quote. Over the past decades, tremendous progress in urbanization and industrialization has improved the quality of life for hundreds of millions of people in China and across the world. However, progress comes with challenges. Urban centers everywhere are suffering from inequalities and vulnerabilities that have grown with the global crisis of the past several years. A lack of affordable housing, environmental degradation, polluted air, high energy prices, challenges often driven by antiquated policies that singularly favor business and revenue without adequate consideration for social and environmental impacts are persistent problems. As Mahatma Gandhi said, and I quote, "The true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members," end of quote. The priority for any responsible government is to ensure that the quality of life for all its citizens, to make cities more child-friendly, suitable for the elderly, make them more accessible for persons with disabilities, to make them greener, to make them healthier. The United Nations in China has worked closely with the government of China to promote the development of sustainable urbanization and housing, a critical area of collaboration between China's rapid urban expansion. Since 1992, UN Habitat has engaged in China under a framework of cooperation with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Rural Development. Under this cooperation, in the past 5 years, 16 municipalities in China have joined 24 UN Habitat projects and initiatives, implementing key projects such as UN Habitat China Future Cities Council, Sustainable Urban Planning Program for China, and People-Oriented Urban Public Program in China. As a result, the United Nations projects contributed to the expansion of protected areas and natural reserves and strengthened the capacity of biodiversity and habitat across 13 provinces in China in 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, we must all continue to take meaningful collaborative action in this area, and to do so, we must understand which approaches and projects have been effective in empowering local and regional governments to engage in responsible urban development. We must work to adopt and multiply these models to create global change. This is the hard part, but critical work before you today, and all of us, we must continue moving forward. This is because transformative policies and innovative solutions implemented today force cities to transition to renewable energy, set credible net zero targets, and build climate-reliant infrastructure will save lives and livelihoods everywhere tomorrow. The United Nations will continue to support China in its effort to accelerate progress towards Sustainable Development Goal 11 at home as well as abroad through its South-South cooperation efforts, working jointly towards a more sustainable, inclusive and resilient world for all. Thank you.